Yeah, so today I feel off, man. I feel like crap, and I think I know why, and I think you're probably gonna know why after this video as well. And this is a strong sign that you're very close to make it, so to speak, or grow a lot as a person. And these moments that you feel like shit, explains a lot, or explains a lot of your past behavior that wants to, keep you in the past. How do I explain this? So this weekend, kind of took it easy. Still did some research around, YouTube and things like that. Building my brand and so on. But, I was a little bit complacent and, I had some foods that I shouldn't had, like pizza, ice cream, things like that. And believe it or not, like what you eat can severely, make you more anxious. For example, up to 2 to 3 days after you eat the thing. Imagine, so you eat something, or you drink alcohol. I had a couple, I think, a couple of White Claws as well. So imagine like what alcohol and bad food can do to you. It goes to your gut, man. Your gut is your second brain. So if you feed it crap, your body's gonna sort of be in a state of stress. Trying to fight that inflammation and all of that, just to regulate your body, regulate homeostasis, and that in and of itself can trigger feelings of anxiety and things like that. You can't think clearly, so you start you feel like a zombie. You feel like you can't function, and then you start this sort of negative talk. And, it kind of goes into a downward spiral. Eating ice cream or stuff like that never puts you in an upward spiral. Sure, it gives you like a slight boost of sugar and all of that, but then it comes crashing down. And, that now it's Monday, and just add on top of that, it was kind of shitty at work. Man, look at me, man. I'm in a shack, bro. It's not the life I want right now. And when you have a job that is draining your soul, I'll put it nicely that way, and then you come home to this place, you don't have a car, you kind of like bootstrapping everything. You have a dream, you want to build a brand, you want to make videos, help people. And it's not going to be an overnight success. So if you're pursuing a business or some kind, yourself, it's just not an overnight success. And, on top of the anxiety and feeding your body, like crap, well, it's sort of, you get into the spiral of not getting any momentum. And you're always like starting from back to square one. You had the whole week, you got momentum maybe Thursday, and then on the weekend you relax, you eat bad foods, and then you feel like crap Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You try to catch up again, try to get that second gear again, just to repeat the next cycle the next weekend. And now it's 2 months has passed, 3 months. And it seems like you haven't made any progress towards your dreams. And that is fucking hurts. That hurts. Because the next year's going to go by. The next year's going to go by. Next thing you know, you're very close to 30. Or you are 30. And you see all these young kids on TikTok or YouTube, whatever, claiming they're making 80K months and things like that. And that gets in your head. That gets in your head. And, the negative self-talk starts again. And just to share with you, for me personally, like the big dilemma right now is like, okay, what am I doing? Am I just staying in the military for the sake of staying? And, obviously my expenses are much lower. And, every bit of free time that I have, I make these videos, I grow my brand, and from the shack, even though the environment's not nice, like I can't go like out in the city, I don't have any car, so, going 25 minutes outside the city. There's no like subway system here. I mean, I'm in a military base outside of the city, right? And, if I want to go talk to some girls and shoot some videos and show you that, I can do it and encourage you guys to cold approach. That's only one aspect of the transformation. But, as far as, fitness, obviously, my results speaks for themselves, but it would be cool to shoot more videos there, in the military base. It's kind of frowned upon to film and things like that. It's not the same as a civilian gym, And I don't want to put excuses on my life and things like that, but just explaining what's the current dilemma right now. And obviously being here is, talking heads. It's pretty much the kind of content I can do now. Like I can do on the street, content, which is super like trending right now. I guess I could do voiceover, B-rolls, things like that, but it's not like it's not the best thing ever, right? As far as live streams, I guess I could explore that later on, but to be honest, guys, I don't have a big audience right now, so we'll just be talking to myself. So I'm doing it right now. Hopefully, my audience grows from that, and you guys enjoy the content I'm making, and hopefully, you can relate, to what I'm talking about, because, we all want to make more money, we all want more girls, we want to find our purpose in life, and, that's what this channel is about. I just started the community, I'm building it right now. There's going to be some modules and some, awesome free resources out there. It's going to start free at the community, so once it's ready, guys, I'm going to let you know, and I call it the C.U.T. Brotherhood. So commanding physique, unshakable presence, tactical purpose. That is the C.U.T. system in and of itself, and different modules. So one is literally going to be a 12-month program, with fitness, nutrition, and everything in between, so that you can double, triple your testosterone. Next pillar is all about charisma, your voice, vocal projection, right? And what are the essentials of having good charisma? Where does it come from? And also dating, social dynamics, so everything from cold approach to mid game to then relationship game, and all of these things, guys. And then your tactical purpose. So how to find your fucking purpose, like what makes you feel alive. So this is a whole system of how to really manifest your goal in a non-woo-woo way that works, and life feels a little bit more effortless. There's some challenges, like I'm having challenges right now, obviously, but I'm putting one foot in front of the other every day. Like I'm doing the work. Like I've managed to build some type of studio. Like I took the risk and bought a nice camera, things like that, and started filming YouTube videos. Guys, it's been so long that I've been like contemplating of making just one video. And now I'm surprising myself, just being able to talk for 20, 30 minutes, like way too long, right? And sometimes I repeat myself a lot, and I say a lot of these words like, I just keep watching these videos at playback, and I'm cringing a little bit because I'm doing a lot of these and it's kind of annoying to listen to, and it's probably annoying to you. So I'm working on that, I just fucking said it. I want to, listen to my voice. It's something I got from, I think his name is Vin. He's a communicator. When you make a video, first thing you can do is you can just not have any sound to the video and just watch your body language in its entirety, okay? And then what you can do also is just, close your eyes, put the volume up, and just listen to your voice, write down what you like, what you don't like, what's the tempo, cadence, and all of these things. And the words, the filler words that you don't like, that you say repeatedly. And then the final thing, I can't even remember. Is it watching both? No, it is the transcript. So you just read the transcript of the video. So you get the transcript off of YouTube. and you just read it, and see what words you want to cut out, and things like that, your sentence structure, and all of these things. So these three elements can greatly improve your communication if you just practice like that. There's not like tips. It's not always like tips and tricks, like hidden truths and secrets to be charismatic. Sometimes it's just about putting the reps in, and just the sole fact of talking every day in front of the camera. Journaling is a big thing, because you can put complete sentences on there. You speak your thoughts in the present moment, so it's in real time. So it helps you sort of improvise a little bit. So you just say whatever comes through your mind, and it's going to translate also when you speak on camera. Things like that. So that's just an example, and we can do lots of drills, even around women. So how to, game like a wall. You can game a wall and, establish the stages of, the open and then the close. Drills to sound more witty, and improv. Improv, like, could be with you, could be with, a partner, so people inside the community, or something you watch on YouTube, and then you press pause, and then you sort of give your line. So all kinds of ways that you can really not only elevate your charisma, but your game also. Obviously, elevating your game is gonna work much better when you actually go out and, talk to girls. But this could be a great, sort of drill you can do, so that, the approach anxiety will significantly lower, because you're going to be so good at improv. Your vocal projection is going to be on point. And, with the charisma, learning about what makes someone charismatic, because it's a skill, you're just going to carry yourself better, and you're going to truly believe in yourself that this girl wants to talk to me. She doesn't know what she's missing. When I come up to her, she's going to have a good time talking to me. And that mindset alone will probably make her stay and have a conversation with you. Because most guys, when they approach, they kind of want her to leave when they approach. Like, they say, oh, no, don't you dare say hi again, because after that, I'm not going to know what I'm going to say. So it's a good practice to practice at home in good ways. We're not just like winging it. We're doing actual work to get better once, we also do it in public. I went on a rant there, but yeah, that's just part of the community and what I have to offer. So that's a lot of work, and, making these videos, but with the job I have, the dilemma I was talking about earlier is that, am I staying there and just trying to make it happen here, and then once my 18 months of my contract ends, then hopefully I'm in a good place to do this full time? Or do I just burn the boats completely, look for some type of remote job right now, okay, once I get one, get my notice, which I think can give me 3 months minimum to, sort of the transition, the paperwork and all of that. It takes a little bit of time in the military. So, 3 months, I could be out 4 months. Then, I worked at that job, which, let's be honest, I'm in a cage now. I'm just going to be in another cage, but from home. Probably doing some type of sales job that stressful, or maybe some type of customer service thing, but it's not going to be as good of a salary. And also a good pro though there, a good positive would be that I could go out and do these videos that I talked about earlier, or go to the gym, network, meet some guys. Like right now, it's like I don't have that many great friends, in the where I live right now in Quebec, because it's just military. Then, sometimes on the weekends I catch a drive to go see my aunt, and, kind of like just do what I'm doing here at my aunt, like, reading, trying to understand the game of the business, personal branding, things like that. And, the cycle kind of repeats itself. But what I noticed is that when you become complacent, eat bad foods, and start overthinking your life's dilemma, like this morning, I really got overwhelmed with like, okay, do I film videos? Do I look for a job? And then you get into this negative self-talk. I'm 30, I still don't know where I'm going. I had that talk with my parents, and they're discouraged that, I made a big investment on myself to, because I did make a big investment on myself, actually. I don't know if you know mediascaling.com, but I invested in one of their programs to learn how to, build a personal brand, and how to find good editors, how to hire them, and then basically they get trained by them to become even better. And then, they put out 2 pieces of content for you every month, and then, next thing you know, you got 420, posts across all platforms every month. If you post twice a day, 3 times a day is even more, and so on. So, I really wanted to invest in myself so that I can accelerate this process. But yeah, I mean, it's a big investment, and then, I'm significantly down on my savings, and that is stressful, because I know I want to leave, and it feels like I'm delaying this process. But in fact, I invested in myself so that I can eventually exit. But right now, as I'm not seeing return, because I'm not going to see any returns, week 1, week 2, or whatever, right? And quite honestly, most people don't know I exist right now on YouTube. I'm just a ghost making videos, and I was really surprised that I got like 20 views on my last one, because, it was quite a long rant. And yeah, I'm probably sure, most people didn't get past minute 3 or something. But it's a good start. It is a good start. But, the moment you're about to level up, that's what I was saying in the beginning of the video, is you tend to fall into like older patterns, right? When you're about to level up. So it's almost like you have fear of success, if that makes sense, right? We have fear of failure, but we also have fear of success. That's a thing. That's really a thing, because once you succeed, it's like the fear kicks in. It's like, well, what if I have all this success and I can't keep up? Like, what's going to happen then? And, that can also create fear. And, when you're sort of overthinking all of this, and like you're right on the edge right now, right? Like, of taking action and, seeing a potential return, but it's almost like your whole self wants to prevent you from taking action and try to make up problems, so that you start overthinking and not taking action, because your body's sort of smart. It wants to save energy, wants you to survive, wants you to not be judged by others. So all of these things, making videos, I mean, yeah, it's quite that, because your reputation, I guess, is on the line, because people now get canceled, things like that. And although I know I'm not going to be canceled for making a video like this, but subconsciously your brain, can think that. All goes back to the caveman tribes and all of that. If you get kicked out of the tribe, well, basically you're dead back then. So just believe that once you have these episodes of overthinking, overanalyzing, and making like scenarios, should I do this or that? Like, take a step back, like try to calm your mind. What I do is I love to write down everything on there. I try to journal more now. I got this from the book The Artist's Way. It's about writing 3 morning pages every day. So 3 pages, right? You write literally your thoughts, like everything that's going through in your mind. And the first page is probably going to be like a long rant, like just negative stuff. And just go at it. Go at it. Throw everything out there. Everything negative, everything pissing you off, making you feel anxious, depressed, whatever it is. And then you'll start to realize that it's what you have now is not that bad. It's not so bad. You know, there's some people out there who has it worse. And when you can start having gratitude for the actual life that you have, your anxiety drastically goes down. You feel better. You start feeling better, and then you eventually start coming up with solutions, or at least a path that starts to make more sense. You know, especially if you had like multiple decisions to make and things like that. You'll start realizing, okay, maybe that's the lowest hanging fruit I could go after right now. You know, Tai Lopez said something like that. Probably got that from a book, but what is the domino, that the first domino that you can, you know, push right now that would trigger a series of positive events that would start generating that momentum? What's that one domino, that one action that you can take now that's going to move it forward? So I started thinking to myself, well, the goal literally is to build a personal brand, like build a business. So is looking for a remote job, like for 5 hours every day, gonna help me achieve that goal? Not really. It can maybe help me get an interview to potentially get out of the military in 3 months minimum from the moment I get a job offer. But if I just focus on that and don't focus on this, well, I'm not gonna post. People are not gonna know what I'm doing. And I'm just going to delay that. And what if that job doesn't work out after a couple months? Then I'm out of a job, and my YouTube is not where I want it to be. My socials are not what I want them to be. And it's sort of like I'm backpedaling to my old self. I'm like, holy fuck, like, what do I do now? No job. My life expenses went up. And, you know, it's kind of like a fork in the road there. So as much as it sucks right now, I guess I just have to keep making videos and show up daily. Because life's not going to change if I don't take action. So that's where I am now. And, you know, I hope that I can keep going fresh at it every single day, and, you know, just go and fail hard, fail forward. Like right now, I'm not even sure what I want to say anymore. I just, in my head, you know, my head's spinning like crazy, but I'm just like, just keep talking. But I think I've said enough for this video. It's like, I guess the whole lesson of this is that when you start overthinking about your future and what you want to do and all of this, take a step back, because this could be a very, very, very important moment. And, you know, write down everything that's on your mind, and this will sort of calm you down. You'll start to see that maybe my life situation is not that complicated after all, and then you'll start coming up with solutions. You know, what could be the next potential good, realistic move that I could do now, and then take action on that. And that after will give you clarity on what to do next. But also keep in mind, if you fuel your body with shit like poison, or, you know, just bad food, fried foods, high saturated fat foods, you know, that is sort of sweet and fat at the same time, like ice cream, for example, just know that this may affect your mood. And it's really hard to tap into your real self by eating that food, because it does affect your second brain. So keep that in mind. If you feel anxious, sometimes it's not about you, it's about the food that you hate. So don't beat yourself up too much. Just take a step back and, you know, take some time for yourself, drink water, and try to recalibrate. Try to get back on the right track with your nutrition. Go move a little bit. Go lift some weights. Strength training. You'll feel better. It's gonna take a couple of days, but then you'll start feeling much more, focused, at ease. And drink some water, because water really flushes out the toxins, makes your brain more awake. And if you drink lots of coffee, not enough water, you just pump your adrenaline more, and then the crash gets harder and harder after. So make sure you drink lots of water. That's how you can stay more mentally awake and less, crashes in the afternoon. So this is just my tip for as far as, how to nourish your body. But also, when you feel anxious, do what I said, and you'll get much more clarity on what your next steps will be. So, hope you got some value out of that. See you next time.